Outlook Podcast. We're here with the Outlook Podcast. We're here. We're talking to cool people. All right, hello guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Outlook Industries Podcast. Today, I'm joined with Ryan Orell, absolute action sports legend, been killing it on social media, all those things, crazy good at skateboarding, BMX, scooters, tries his hand at absolutely everything and is really talented at it. So I'm excited to pick your brain about a lot of the social media stuff. But first off, kind of like, who are you? Where are you living now? I don't even know where you're located.
Yeah, here and there. Well, thank you, dude. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me here. This is our bi-yearly hour catch-up. We're just going to hop on a call, have a conversation.
Literally.
I like it. Let's see. So right now I'm in Connecticut. I'm living with my mom right now. We have a studio apartment, so it's nothing crazy, but it's a place to sleep, place to work. Right now I'm actually in a library. I come here basically like 6 hours a day and just work. There's like this little study room, so I come to the library. I like reserve the study room, and I just sit here in the fucking lab and I just work. And it's kind of all I do. And I get out and then I'll go either do like landscaping shit like that, or just film and ride and skate and do all that stuff.
So what is kind of your schedule? What's like a day in Ryan's life right now?
It's a good question. I guess it's pretty sporadic. Some days it'll be like a full day of just like labor work and like weeding and gardening and shit like that, which like so many people don't even know that about me, but that's like, I mean, that's like a big portion of my life. Like the past 10 years is just working.
But are you doing that? Who are you doing that? Like, is it for somebody you know, or is it like your own business, or how have you been doing
mostly that? Freelance. I've been thinking about starting like a little landscaping business, but right now it's not a good allocation of my time. So I only do it a few days a week here and there. But so I'll say this morning, for example, I woke up at 7:40 a.m. It's usually when I wake up. I usually go to the woods and like run or something like that, just to kind of get my blood pumping, get like a little sweat, and it kind of resets my brain. I'll shower and then I'll usually go to the library and honestly just work in the library for either 2 to 6 hours. And then after that, depending on what time it is, I'll just go skate, I'll go ride, I'll go film, I'll go on a fun little side quest, maybe. I mean, the main things that I prioritize is my personal brand, so social media, all that stuff, and then experiences. I think experiences are so important. And yeah, I try to prioritize.
Absolutely.
Say I get an opportunity to do something cool, like I have to take it, even if I'm sacrificing something else. It just, you have to do it. That's kind of where I'm at.
Well, that's kind of the stage we're at right now, I think, totally. Right. And as far as like your filming, like when you go out and film clips, what are you like thinking about? Like, what are you trying to film when you go out? Because for like my observation of what you've been doing, it's more of like you're in like these parking lot clips, or you're like not necessarily at the skate park. You'll go to like a street spot. Is there like a thought behind that, or is it just kind of where you end up?
Yeah. So it depends on the type of video that I'm creating. Recently, I've been doing more scripts. So I will literally spend an hour writing out a script for a video that I know will go viral. Say a 3-second hook, like what are the best shoes for skateboarding? And then this whole storyline. And then I'll write out a script and it'll be approximately a minute long. And then I'll go and film each separate clip for each separate part of the script, if that makes sense. But
really,
that's maybe, I would say 30% of the time. I would say another 30% would be just filming clips, just trying to get a new learn. And then say the other, whatever, 33% is just filming for the fuck of it, just to film, and maybe some content will come out of it. If anything, maybe it's like a story clip. But
because for me, and what I've always tried to do is I've gone out and I've been like, okay, I want to land these tricks, or I want to progress in this way, and then I just try to recycle those clips into something else that I can use it for. But it sounds like you're going at it the other way at this point, and you're like thinking about it like, how do I make this video the best with the clips that I got? Speaking of that 360 Bride on that 4-stair was nuts, just so you know.
Thanks, man. Dude, you know what's crazy? I didn't ride my scooter for basically like the past 6 months up until a couple months ago. Just like the parts didn't work out.
Really?
My scooter got stolen in Boston and is a little bit
Oh,
ordeal.
yep.
So I've just been skating for like the past, essentially the past like 8 months. I've just been focused on skateboarding, and I've been able to progress so
Really?
much, dude. It's so much fun.
Yeah. What do you mainly? You're probably mainly riding street, right? Or are you
Mm, it depends. A lot of the time, I go to the skate park Newtown. It's about 20-25 minutes
right?
away from me. So a lot of the time, it'll end up being like a literally a 30-minute just flat sesh because that's all I might have the
Right.
time for that specific day. And for me, it's important to show up for myself on a consistent basis. And even if it is just a
Yeah.
10-minute sesh, sometimes I'll be sitting there in a parking lot, like reading. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do one kickflip, and it's better than nothing. Like
Right.
one of the
It totally is.
right. So one of the main things that I've realized in the past year, and this goes with social media as well, is it sounds so fucking cliche, dude. But consistency, no matter what it is, you just have to do it a little
Yep.
bit every single day, and no matter what, you might feel like you're not making progress, but inevitably you will, no matter what the fuck it is.
Right.
It's cool.
No, totally, and you have to show up for yourself, I
Mhm.
think. But I think with you filming at, like, parking lots and these flat clips where you're thinking, like, "This is where I'm at, this is what I just need to film," but you've, like, on accident or maybe on purpose, I don't know which one, but you've created, like, this vibe that goes with all your videos
Really?
that is a lot different than, like, say, a normal like, me or some other, like, action sports athlete where they're normally at, like, a skate park or something like that. It feels more organic, I guess would be the word. It's what I've
Yeah,
noticed in the way that, like
a lot of people describe it as raw, which I would
yeah.
think, "Wow,
Well, it
that's
just
cool."
it doesn't feel as much like you're an action sports athlete. It feels more like you're a kid who's really good at action sports because you're not at like with all the pads on at the skate park,
Right.
right? So it's just unique in that way.
That's awesome.
And I found that really cool. And that's something that I thought about after like watching some of your stuff before like we hopped on here. And just like I don't know, how much do you reuse clips? Like
Mm,
how much is enough? How much is too much? Like where is that line for
that's
you?
a good question. I do reuse a lot of clips, as you can tell, but the way I look at it is as long as it is a different video concept. If I was posting a raw clip, I wouldn't repost the same raw clip. But it is a
Right.
different video concept. It is a different if it's a different construct of video that evokes a different emotion. And I
Right.
think that's important to keep in mind.
When you, like, find something that's successful, do you, like, try to make more of that?
Yeah.
Is that kind of I feel like that's kind of the algorithm, but
So I'll tell you right now, I'm posting I think like 12 times every single day on like three different platforms. So when you're posting 12 fucking videos every single day, you're gonna have to reuse clips. Kind of
yeah, that's
irresistible.
that is crazy. How long does it take you? Like, is it have you found, like, an optimization? Because I feel like that would just take all day.
No. Well, because like I said, so it's an algorithm. So if you create a certain
Right,
video, it's a video template that if you make it in a certain way, it's going to tend to the algorithm. So it's pretty easy to
right,
replicate a similar construct of video in order to make it work well within the algorithm. And obviously,
right,
I've been doing social media for 4 years. The more and more I do it, the quicker I can see a video in my head, go either film it or find a clip. And like the video is already made in my head. I just have to go through and put the clips
right.
in CapCut and post it. That's it.
Uh-huh.
So obviously, it takes a lot of experience and it takes a lot of learning the algorithm, but it's dope. And really, like the number
Right.
one
Are you
advice I have for anyone who wants to start is I've been coaching and helping a lot of people with their social media is post
mhm,
consistently. Like it sounds so simple.
yeah,
Like even 6 months ago, I was posting 3 times a week on Instagram, and I thought that was a lot. I was like, yeah, I'm consistent. And then I started to sort of find different templates, different ways of posting. And I'm like, I
right.
could easily post 3 times a day if I just carve out an hour a day. It's not that hard. If you
Yeah,
don't have an hour every single day, wake up a little earlier and do what you need to do before. And like, dude, it's really not that hard.
I think the hard thing is trying not to get stale and or like losing creativity.
Right.
Because I feel like when you're trying to post that much, it's hard to like stay
Most
creative in a way
definitely.
because you're just like, I need to spam out videos, or you have all these ideas when you start, and then you start making them, and then you're like, it's been 4 days and I'm through all of my ideas. So
So I got a journal. That's it. Like you have to take time to like,
yeah,
I'll set a timer for, I forgot who it was, Adam Puffer, I think his name is. He was asking me, he kind of had that same issue where he's like,
right,
I don't know what to create. I don't have that creative spark anymore. I said, okay, here's what you're going to do. I'm going to give you actionable steps to fix this problem. You're going to set a timer for 10 minutes on your iPhone, put your iPhone on the other side of the room so you're not fucking with it. You're going to write down
right,
your three most viral videos. So, say for me, it would be like a 10-year progression. I would write that down. Whatever, 6-year progression, 6-year skate clip, something. So, your three most viral
right,
videos, and then the three videos you're most proud of. So I'm gonna
yeah,
take those 6 ideas and just start writing bullshit. Just start writing different ideas and different things that come down that kind of funnel from those six initial content ideas. And if you sit there for 10
right,
minutes, I promise you, you're gonna come up with something. Like
yeah,
the first 2 minutes is
yeah.
gonna be bullshit. It's gonna be like 6-year bike, 6-year scooter, like I don't know, but if you sit there for long enough, you're gonna find something.
You're gonna be like, that's it. That's
Yeah.
what I'm doing today. Yeah, I think that's true with honestly, that's true with pretty much anything.
Yeah.
And I find that a lot more fun than like analytical work. I love that creative work, just sitting down and coming up with those ideas. And I think you get a lot more out of it.
Right. Well, it's one of
But
those things where it's not that fun to sit down and journal for 10 minutes, but if you want to post consistently, you want to build your personal brand, you have to show
right.
up for yourself once again. That's it.
What have you seen in kind of your social medias and the action sports space in like how it's been growing or not, or like where do you think it's going? Because I feel like what I've heard from a lot of companies, brands, etc., even just friends that I have in the industry, it's like it feels like we're either going through this weird era or it's like
Yeah.
declining. Like I don't know what's going
Yeah.
on. But have you seen the same kind of thing?
I want to unfortunately take credit for the Reels grind thing that started, where it's like people will see a video where it's like, tag your dream sponsor. And then it's just the same fucking thing when you're scrolling Reels. It's like, I don't know. So I started doing like little engagement baits like that, and they performed well, and it was fun. I would ask questions that I'm like genuinely curious about, and now everybody's doing it mindlessly, and
I
it's just
know.
brain raw. It's crazy. So what
Yes,
I
it's
always tell anyone is like, you want to find that balance between posting something that is engaging and might go viral in order to stay consistent, but also remaining authentic to yourself and your audience.
yeah.
Some people aren't doing that.
Well, I think there's a lot of push for people to be like, "Hey, you don't have to be original. You just have to like take something that's viral and just make your own version of it." And I think that is not a terrible
Mhm.
idea sometimes,
Mhm.
but I think that when everybody in the community is doing the same thing, or there's like a big portion of people doing the same thing, um, yeah, it turns into brain rot. Nobody's going to answer the same question 4 different times on 4 different platforms.
Well, listen,
But I think you've done a good job at
I
staying on
tell
top of it.
everybody that I'm working with is like, okay, you're going to look at other creators that are popping off, that are going viral, scroll your For You page, see what is popping off. And like I said before, it is an algorithm and it is a video template. And if you were to copy that text for
Mhm.
text, clip for clip, sound for sound, it will likely go viral. But still, like if you're posting something with a caption like, sorry guys, this is brain rot, why the fuck are you posting it?
Uh, yeah, what the
Yeah, like
fuck?
come on, dude.
What's the point in the
Yeah,
first place?
but
But
it's interesting.
who do you who do you kind of like look up to and like watch for those viral ideas, or how much time do you spend on social media trying to like do that,
It's a
like look for new ideas?
Um, I get really stuck scrolling reels. I'm not gonna lie, it's
Mhm.
probably one of my biggest personal struggles is trying to eliminate the distraction of just like mindlessly scrolling
Absolutely, I
and
agree
shit
with
like
that.
that. And it's so hard 'cause it's so easy to justify being like, oh, I'm studying the algorithm. It's like, no, you're fucking not scrolling.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so I guess it comes and goes. There's a lot of like small creators, like little skateboarding, Instagram Reels people, like Adrian, Young Mafia. I can't really
Right.
think of any that you would be familiar with, if I'm being honest. But there's a lot.
But you're watching like skateboarders and all these other like because that's what I try to do is take things from completely different like
Right,
communities that I'm interested in and try to bring them into scootering or whatever because that's kind of what my personal brand is built around is scootering.
right.
So that's kind of where I try to bring it in. But
Yeah.
I try to go to like I really like the photography and videography communities. So they do a lot of like posting your art and posting like different highlights like that and like really getting into like the editing. I don't know if you watch like Zach King videos
Mhm.
ever. But he does like the crazy edits and stuff, and I love like video editing. So I've been trying to bring that in for years, and that's kind of been my specialty
And
anyway.
you've been killing it.
And I found pretty good luck with that.
You've been fucking
What?
killing it.
Yeah, like that double flip that I edited in, that got like 200K almost views. So that did pretty good.
Fuck. That's good.
So and now Mad Gear hit me up and they're like, "Hey, how hard would it be to make Juzzy go around this rail twice?" I'm like, "Give me the real original clip and I'll figure it out."
Be like, how much we talking?
Yeah,
So like I go through
exactly.
Instagram and I go through saved. All of these posts that I have saved is just different content that I'm going to replicate, that I'm gonna get inspiration from. And so I think that's important to
I
go
do the
through
same
and
exact thing.
yeah, even say
But the thing is, mine's just so random
mm,
because a lot of it is car stuff because I've been
mm,
doing all the car edits for my
right.
friends. So it's all car edits, which is a very interesting community to try to copy, to be honest, because it's very sad boy, which is so
Well,
interesting.
dude,
And
I
it like
copied a car video. Sorry to interrupt you. I copied a video from the Star
no,
thing
you're
where it
good.
was like something it's been 4 years, and then tag the friend you grew up with. Those videos got 16 million views in total for both of them.
That's
Because
crazy.
I
Wow.
got the inspiration from a separate industry and I replicated it and
Yep.
attached my own creative little thing to it that aligns better with my brand and
Right.
my audience and my clips. And it was very receptive. That was my first video to get like 1 million likes, and it's good.
Oh, is that one? Yeah,
Yeah,
that's good. Yeah. Well, I think that a lot of the car community came from the action. Like everyone grew up at a skate
yeah,
park in that
yeah.
community, at least. It's like it's the same people. So if you bring back that kind of like
Mm.
nostalgia, I'm really interested in like liminal space stuff too, which is kind of in the same echelon.
What does that mean,
But
liminal space?
so that's like it kind of feels like you know what it is, or it's like a transitional. I think the official definition is a transitional space. So say like a hallway, like an airport that's has no
Mm.
people in it, a classroom with no kids, like that feels creepy, but there's no reason for it to feel creepy. So like the back
Right. So
rooms,
what
for
that
example,
is doing
is
is
the normal one.
that's evoking a sense of nostalgia. So what I
Yes.
always tell anyone who I'm working with or anyone who wants to learn about social media, if you are able to evoke some sort of emotion, you are going to be successful, period. That's it. That's
Yeah.
all it is. So that's why nostalgia is a good one. Inspiration is a good one. I love creating a video that
Mm.
I watch it back and I'm inspired. And I mean, ultimately, like my chief aim in life is to impact a lot of people and inspire them to go outside and just do something dope. And
To get off of their phones. Yeah, no,
it's
literally.
hard. It seems counterintuitive, but it might be one of the best ways to do it right now.
Yeah. Well, it helped the industry,
Mhm.
but I think that's why like the weightlifting side, like the Sam Sulek type stuff, it does so
Mhm.
well, is because it's like it's negative and positive.
Right.
Like he's positively telling you like that you suck. I don't know why that works so well, but that's a lot of what I've seen on my
Right.
algorithm is just like those inspirational like you can do it, but if you don't do it, you'll be
Mhm.
nothing type shit. It's like this is kind of weird.
Yeah,
Um,
that kind of makes it weird
but
feel
yeah,
like,
I've seen that popping off.
yeah, it's tough. I mean, theoretically, Instagram isn't one of the best ways to make money, but I think right now it's the
No.
algorithm that I'm most familiar with. And so it's fun,
Yeah.
and I'll be able to get a lot of followers on
Well, I
social.
think it's not about it's the same thing that all the tech companies are worried about, right? It's not about the money right off the
Mhm.
bat. It's about the eyes.
Right.
Eyes and views and likes are currency more so than actual currency. So when you have that audience, you are then valuable. Whether or not you have the money or not, you have that ability to market things and that many people care about what you have to say. So that's where your value comes in. So that's why the personal brand is so
Mm.
important. So what everyone seems to be doing or trying to do is building a personal brand, doing this crazy stuff, and then trying to figure out how they can sell a course, and that's how they're making money,
Yeah.
which is weird.
It's weird, but
But
I genuinely
that's
believe
the
that
personal brand.
if you can provide enough actual value in order to actually help the person that you're selling to, I think it's valid. Because I mean, inevitably it
Yeah.
helps both parties as long as you're not being a fucking dick.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But I think, Ryan, you have actually quite an opportunity with the fact that you have already had a lot of people, including me, come to you to be like, hey, help me with the social media
Mhm.
stuff. So if you wanted to do a master class or something on growing social media, you have the value, you've done it, and if you create the class and do like that, it's like you did, then you can just post it and then it just generates revenue as you promote
That's what
it.
I'm doing.
Could that be considered selling out? Who knows? Are you doing
Mhm.
that?
Yeah,
Really?
that's what I've been putting in like 4 hour days every single day for the past 4 months doing.
Is trying to create a
Hmm.
course?
I'm creating.
Really?
Um, the reason I'm putting so much time into this because I want to make sure that it actually is providing value. If one of my homies is giving
Right.
me whatever 50 to 200 bucks a month, I'm going to make sure that he is getting 10,000 followers within 4 months. And I'm going to make sure that I'm
Right.
giving him the knowledge and the resources to be able to get brand deals and get sponsors based off that audience that he's created. And I'm
Mhm.
putting so much work into this because I want to be confident that I'm not selling out and that I'm not creating a product that's not good. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
Well, what is kind of I mean, it's probably close to what you've talked to me about, but what's kind of the basis? What are you focusing on
yeah.
with your course?
Um, so I'm giving general algorithm advice, just how to utilize Instagram, giving video templates
Right.
like we were talking about, different things like, oh, what is your, I'm giving you a foundation of video templates in order to be consistent for 30 to 60 days. And ultimately, by you doing that, you are going to learn how to edit, you're going to learn the algorithm, you are going to grow your page, and you are going to learn how to create a viral video. And ultimately,
Yeah.
my hope is that this community sparks inspiration for other people. It holds them accountable to post consistently. And I'm going to like genuinely be helping them with ideas and certain like specific posting schedules and calendars and stuff like that.
Right.
I mean, realistically, I don't really want to scale or anything yet. Like, I'm just helping like a few people now. I think we have
Right.
6 clients, 6 people in the community right now. But like I want it to be relatively exclusive because I'm only bringing in people who are going to actually put in the work and actually listen to the
Right.
advice and the modules and shit like that. But
Well, I think that like anything else, you just don't have there's no secret really except for you got to put in the
yeah,
work. And like that's with everything. Is like yes, you have all like you'll give them all this value of like what they're supposed to be putting their work into so they're efficient with
right,
it, but you still got to put in the work and it
exactly.
still takes the time.
Yeah.
But that's super exciting. Yeah. That's super exciting, Ryan. Good work, man. I'm excited to see how that all turns out for
Yeah,
you.
I just got to put more work into it. I mean, I've been doing as much as I can while always prioritizing my
Doing
personal brand and my own videos.
yeah, while doing everything else on top.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, no, you got to keep doing that because that's what you're doing it for.
yeah. But it's fun.
But
I want to. I don't know. You see, so like you see, no, nothing against Chris Ferris, but he's not going to be able to make an income through professional writing anymore. And if he was able to
no,
separate himself using social media more than he did a lot of it, but say
right.
anyone can separate themselves through social media and actually be able to make a career through action sports. You
Right.
see pro skaters, pro scooter riders working at a fucking grocery store because they can't make an income purely based off the athletic performance. So
Which is kind of unfortunate. The thing is if you want to be a professional in the sports, you have to monetize it somehow.
yes,
And that's not going to be typically straight through your riding, unless you're so good that a company gets you the filmers and gets you the other deals and gets you like the magazine covers and the like all that stuff, which they used to do more of. And now they're just like, if you don't have 150K followers, like we're not even going to talk to
yeah,
you.
it's fun.
So you have to build the personal brand first.
And like ultimately, like listen, this is so important. The main goal is to impact that younger generation of riders and to inspire them once again to go
Mm-hmm.
outside and ride their fucking scooter, ride their skateboard, ride their bike, go do forward rolls in the grass. Like I don't give a fuck. Like go outside and just like do something fun. Like I don't know. Like, it seems so simple because it is.
Well, I think that's easy to. I think that, like people like Raymond Warner has done a good
Mhm.
job at keeping like focus on who his audience is, or even Roman does a good job at this. Is like really like I know who I'm making these videos for. This is why I'm making it this way. It might be cringe to my peers, but it's really cool to the 10, 11, 12, 13 year olds who are the ones who have the time in the day to sit and watch your videos, right?
Exactly.
So I think not losing that focus is really important to that growth as
Most
well.
definitely.
So that's what I try to do. And I've lost focus in that. I was better when I was younger and like on YouTube and stuff because I was way closer to that age group. But now I'm just like I'm more worried about people my
Mhm.
age, which are not the people watching my videos. So I think that's a hard thing to think about
Yeah.
too.
I mean, that's one of the
But
main things that are stopping most athletes, most scooter riders, most skateboarders is they don't want to post like cringe content. They don't want to post something that's inspiring.
right.
Why would they try to be inspiring? They'd want to be cool and post like a dope clip. Like, I get it. 100%. I get it. Like, I'm 19. Like, I want to be
Mm-hmm.
cool. I want to do all this stuff. But, like, I don't know. Make something that is inspiring to someone that's younger. To me,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
more impactful, I guess.
Where do you see where do you want to go with your personal brand in the future? Like where do you kind of see that growing to?
I don't know. I got to be more intentional with where I want to see my personal brand. I know for a
Right.
fact that I'm going to be extremely successful with Instagram and YouTube Shorts and stuff
Right.
like that. I'm going to be able to use it as an outlet to express myself and once again impact millions of people. So,
Well, you've already impacted millions of people
true.
several times over.
That's it. And that's fucking crazy to me. I've been able to even just like get paid to ride a scooter and skateboard sometimes and like post a video. Like
Right.
it's the coolest fucking shit ever. And so it'd be cool to blow up to a position similar to say Danny Duncan, David Dobrik, Tanner Fox, that kind of that
Right.
kind of level. Which I think is more than possible. It just depends on how much work I want to put in.
Right. Well, I think it's harder to do with the short form content,
Mm,
which is why like when Tanner got in at the time that Tanner did, it just worked great for him because it was that longer form content and he was really good at making it.
mm-hmm.
Um, but I mean, it's another one of those things that's just a complete grind. All this stuff is just such a grind,
Depends how you look at
which
it.
isn't necessarily a bad thing. It just is.
Yeah, I agree, but it depends how you look at it to a sense.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, the work is better, but that doesn't change the fact that like, especially when back in the YouTube days, it was like, or even still today, a lot of people are doing YouTube, I guess. But if you were doing like daily uploads, like you do your morning till about
Mhm.
3 where you record the video, then you try to edit the video, and then after you edit the video you have to create the video idea for the next day, and then you have to do it
No, it's
again
a grind,
every
right?
day. Like that. I did a couple weeks of daily uploads on YouTube when I was really into
That's
it, and
nutty.
I just was like, it gave me such a respect for these guys who were doing it like consistently,
Yeah,
because I was like, I do it on trips and then I'd be like, oh my god. No wonder these guys have 3 editors and, like, 2 filmers, like,
In
it takes a
Arizona,
team.
I lived with Roman de la Pena, Michael, and Zay, and we
Right.
did 3 times per week, every single day for. I was consistent for like 4 months, and it was. You're right. It was a fucking grind, dude. Like there's nothing I could do with
Yeah.
my time except skate park, film, edit, skate park, film, edit, and even then, those videos still are only at like maybe 2,000 views on like a 10-minute video, which is valid, and I was able to get monetized on YouTube, but it's tough.
Right.
It's definitely a
Yeah.
grind, and I see the reason I'm focusing more on short form is because I see creators like Josh Kruger. Are you familiar with him? I think that's his last name,
Yes.
Kruger or Kruge or something. But
Yeah.
I've been taking a lot of inspiration from his videos recently because I mean he's getting reach upwards of 75 million fucking views for scootering, which is I mean
Really?
quite frankly that's industry changing. 75 million views on a 42
I've
second
seen his
video.
stuff pop up. I guess I paid a little bit of
Hmm.
attention.
And that's on YouTube Shorts, by the way.
Oh, that's on
Yeah, which
Shorts.
is even more impressive, I would say.
Yeah, that's because I know that the thing that he does that I think is different than a lot of other people is he's really focusing the videos on people who don't necessarily scooter.
Mm, right.
Whereas I think we get like, I know I get stuck in like, I'm in this community. This is what my followers are. Like, I already qualify them as having that knowledge base. And he starts from like ground zero. Like, this is what this trick looks like. This is what it is. He doesn't even call it a tail whip, but that's just kind of like the idea is like, if they know, they know. But if they don't know, I'm going to teach them and bring them into the community, which works great.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's awesome. I never really thought about that. That's
Yeah.
awesome. What advice would you
Yeah.
have for that video that I posted today, where it was what is the hardest action sports, and it was like a minute long storytelling video.
Yeah. I love those. First off, because your like having you talking, having the words on the screen, and then having what you're doing in the
Mhm.
video, you're hitting 3 points of contact. You're hitting sound, you're hitting them reading it, and you're hitting like the action that's happening behind the
Right.
words. So I think as far as engagement, that's the way to do it. And I really like the little dings that you added when you land tricks. Another little serotonin bump, because that's what I hear about short form content all the time. It's like boom, 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 boom. Every like you look at Mr. Beast, right? Mr. Beast is dropping another like something to grab your attention every like tenth of a second. It's
Mhm.
nuts. Like the amount of things that he has popping up to make you stop scrolling. Like me thinking about that is like holy shit. He took 12 hours to edit this 10
Right.
seconds. Like I
Great.
mean, he has a team that does it, and he's like way up here, but still, like that's kind of what you have to think about
Yeah.
is like how fast can I change? How many things can I surprise the viewer with on the screen that like keeps them engaged? Because it's so hard to keep that
Yeah,
engagement.
it's a weird balance because you
But
don't want to flood the stimulation because there were so many things
yeah,
in that specific video that I was editing today that I had like an extra riser, an extra ding, an extra text, an extra like emoji, and at the end I had to kind of just
right.
like take it all out.
What do I really need?
Yeah, because then
Yeah,
it's too engaging and it creates like this weird sense of like almost like brain
it's like
like
the
clutter.
uncanny valley of too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, too much attention grabbing things. So it's hard, and we've seen a lot of success with like I've seen the rise of those type like story form type content, but it's just like someone in their car. It's
Mhm.
nothing special. They just have text over it, and it just people crave. I think a little bit of that authenticity
Mm.
where we've been having so many edits lately. So that's something that I've wanted to try for a while is just something like that. But like I don't even know where to start, and I'd have to script it out.
Yeah,
I just haven't done it yet.
it's hard.
But I think it's a great idea.
100%. Being able to create some authentic video where I can just kind of think of an idea and just film myself, maybe like a GoPro POV or something like that. And I'm able to produce several pieces of content that's easy, effortless, authentically expressing myself in some way, and other people actually
Yeah,
want to see it. Like that's the end goal, I guess, to go back to that question that you asked before.
yeah.
So that was a good little loop that we just did.
Yeah,
I
it
just
was a
answered
good
my
little
own
loop that we
question
did.
like I didn't even mean to, but I think that would be the
Yeah.
end goal right there.
Yeah, I think it's going towards that more authentic, and that's unfortunate because I really like over editing things.
Yeah,
So,
most definitely.
but it'll come back around. It goes through cycles.
Certainly, there's
I
different
think that
people
that's
for
better.
different types of content,
Yeah, that's true too.
but
Um,
TikTok is pushing a lot of that authentic content. They want someone to sit in front of their phone on TikTok and talk for a minute and a half and edit it on the TikTok platform and post it on the TikTok platform. And viewers are getting paid pretty well for that. Or
well, I think with anything
creators.
else, I thought I saw this kind of coming with the algorithm on TikTok mainly because they added the feature to be able to have longer videos.
Right.
So I'm like, oh, this is the same thing that YouTube did in 2012 or 2013, which really absolutely pretty much destroyed my channel. And that is not promoting views as much as they promote retention time. So I can see TikTok
Wow.
promoting that longer form content. So if you have a 4-minute video and people watch it all the way through, like that'll do more for you than having a 10-second video that gets a ton of
Yeah.
likes because they're going to push that retention because everyone's trying to get, like, again, those
Mhm.
eyes. That's what the value is. How long can I hold on to people? And TikTok has some meth in their algorithm. I don't know what it is,
It's weird.
but damn, is that like I can't even have that on my phone. Like I literally don't have TikTok on my phone. I haven't had Instagram for a while until I started posting again because it's just like I will waste 8 hours a day on this shit. And
Yeah.
I'm like, that's totally not okay. I'm like, when? I feel like I have no time and I see where it's all going because it's right there.
It's all that
It's like,
transition time. It's crazy.
yeah,
How
let's
old are you
look.
again, Trevor?
I am 24.
24? We're still so young.
Yes, sir.
We have so much to do, so much to create.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So it's been interesting because I did the whole college route
Hmm.
thing and I graduated college um 22, like December of 22, because I
Hmm.
wanted to still graduate in 22, but I added another semester because I went through with COVID and all that kind of stuff. So transferred around a bunch of different schools. Either way, graduated then, had a really hard time finding a job because my major's in business management.
Hmm.
My like I like content creation and like video production as my main kind of thing. That's like so I have a portfolio for that and whatnot. So I was trying to apply for things through that and just having no luck, having a hard time trying to go to like Austin, trying to go to California, trying to just get somewhere with like a bigger reach with more people. I did an internship out in Washington D.C. with the American Trucking Association, so that's kind of where I like got into the job field that I'm in now. So I met my boss when I was out there. She was meeting with our legislators from South Dakota out in D.C. and I ended up emailing her and I was like, "Hey, you guys hiring for any job like this?" She's like, "Actually, that's exactly what we need right now." And we have a small office of like 4 people total, including me. So I wear a lot of hats and do a lot of things there, but the amount like I thought I'd get more time, right? Being out of school because school is like a nonstop thing. You're always doing that.
Right.
Um, but it's kind of been opposite because so much of that middle chunk of my day is taken up with work. Whereas when I was at school, I would go to class in the morning and then I'd have this break between when I was done with class and I'd want to start
Hmm.
studying. And I'd either get the studying done all before noon and then I could go and ride and film and all that kind of stuff later, or I could go ride right after class if it was nice out and then I could get to my homework after that. So I had like that flexibility of when I wanted to
Right.
work. Whereas the entire winter this year, like I got off work and it was dark outside.
Yeah.
Like
That's crazy.
so that makes it really difficult to like get clips and all that
Oh
kind of
yeah.
stuff. And it's cold and snowing and it just that makes that difficult. So I found that to be a challenge since I've been out of school, which I thought I'd have more time. So that's been interesting. Um, but there's so much more like opportunity, and I feel like more of my time is mine in a weird way, not the same way. So like more, it's like I can go and choose what job I want to do, and I can move around like that into something. Hopefully, like I would love to someday work for Red Bull, work for Monster, and do like their
Yeah.
production and like their video and their like do their fun projects because like Red Bull, for example, does like Terminal Takeover
Mm.
and Rampage and all that crazy kind of stuff. So I would love to like get in that space eventually. That's what I'm hoping to do. So we'll
You and
see.
me both, baby. We'll get
Yeah.
Imagine, that'd be so cool. We both end up working for like Red Bull or Monster or some crazy big corporation energy drink.
Yeah. Well, if I get it, I'll hit you
Yeah,
up.
yeah, that'd be dope.
You definitely have the portfolio for it. So
Yeah,
that's good. I was checking to see.
it's a weird thing. It's like I have the ability to get a lot of reach through social media, and I think I have this niche presentation of my action sports ability and my athletic capability. But I think it's almost like
Right.
too niche to a point where a big company such as Red Bull or Monster almost doesn't want to take a risk by putting me on. And quite honestly, like I'm probably just
Right.
not good enough, essentially. Because realistically, I focus a lot of my time on the social media and the algorithm and stuff like that, where I wouldn't be able to fully prove myself athletically. So it's an interesting thing, you know.
Well, Red Bull's still in this space where I think they're getting a lot of people from competition or from
Mm,
video parts or
right.
from they have the reach, right? They don't
Mm,
need that anymore. So all the people that are following you or me are also probably following Red Bull or
true.
Monster. So they are looking for the crazy talent that then they can use to promote their own brand. So it's just a different look. It's like when C4 came out. I think Matador is a great idea for you. But when C4 came out, they were sponsoring all these
Mm,
people all over the place because they already had the reach and they were using that reach. Like the people already had that reach. So they were trying to come in, pay some money to get that reach to then grow their brand, which worked great because C4 is huge
yeah.
now. Um, but that's kind of the game plan. But since Red Bull and Monster already have it, they're like, let's just get the best people with the best vibes and we'll just promote that.
Mm,
So they're looking for the world champions. And I think it'll change a lot if we get scootering into the Olympics. I haven't heard any more on that. Um, I kind of talk to Shelby occasionally about it
mm.
when I can. When she posts something about it, I'll slide up. But
So
it sounds like 28
yeah, I talked to Will Cash about
would
it at
be
Woodman for a little
crazy.
bit, but I mean, whatever happens, happens. But going back to the Rebel thing, that's a once again a super interesting point because that's true competitions and video parts, which is two things that I don't do. So it
Yep.
makes sense. So one day I'll find the right company that aligns. So do you want to hear some tea that no one else that I haven't really told anyone or talked about publicly?
Yeah.
Some tea.
Yeah.
It's not really tea. It's just
Tea time with Ryan?
so Danny Duncan was the one who actually reached out to me about Matador. So I'm posting this series. They want to post
Really?
my clips until Matador Energy sponsors me. Danny reached out to me months ago saying, I'm working on a project and I want to get you involved. So I said, dope, fuck yeah, let's run it. Tell me what it is. And then I reached out to him. I was like, is this energy drink thing what you're talking about? And he's like, yeah, 100%. And so I communicated with him briefly about different ways that I can promote it. And so I was like, let's go back to the Matador series because that's what I did with Red Bull and Monster, and it worked out extremely well. And so that's where this
Yeah.
series has come from. And so far, it's at like 1.5, 2 million views overall, and it's pretty solid. It's a good compilation of clips, and I enjoy posting it. And once again, that's something that I'm able to do
Yeah.
in order to post consistently, right? So either way, it's a win-win for both of us. But
And I think those series are pretty good
mhm,
because it's a great way to reuse clips, right?
exactly.
Like you already have everything you need, you just have to edit it
Right.
out. So,
Yeah. And so I reached out, I checked in with Danny on like day 30. I was like, hey, like day 30 is about to hit. I'm about to go film some bangers. Like, what do you want to do moving forward? Like, you want me to hop on a contract? You want me to announce it or what's going on? And he said he's going to talk to his team. So I'll let you know. I still don't have an answer whether or not I'm going to be on the team, but I think chances are
got to tell him he's got to come pick you up in the Cybertruck. That's what he's got to do.
that'd be fucking amazing. Yeah, he's a super solid dude, and he's definitely someone I look up to a lot. And it'd be dope to work with him. Maybe have him as a mentor of some sorts. Maybe
How old is he?
dude, he's like, I think he's in his 30s. I'll look it up quick. he's a lot older
Really?
than you would think.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. Like he's been in this shit for a while. Like he's been putting in fucking work. He's
He has been absolutely killing
he's
it.
31 years old.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just over
Yeah.
30. Which is he portrays himself as younger, so that's really funny. Good for him, man. So I hope that Matador's doing all right. It's weird seeing everybody jump into the drink game. Like that feels like the upper echelon of like where things have gone. Because like Prime came out,
Mhm.
right? And then it feels like there was a bunch of these other people trying to make these drink companies because they saw that there was that market.
Well,
Because Prime
it's
was maybe not, probably not the first one, but it was the first one that blew up.
mhm. it's a it's a legal drug, caffeine, where people can continuously take it and continuously buy it on a day-to-day basis. Like it just makes
That's
sense.
probably a good idea.
It's a reusable product that people are going to continuously buy and continuously consume.
And what I think about a lot when it comes to that, because you're totally right, but is how do you take what you do in your niche and apply it to an unlimited audience? Because I think it is hard. Like energy drinks, anybody can drink the energy drink. And this is why Monster and Red Bull have done such a good job because they've taken like motocross and like crazy like skiing and motorsports and all these like really niche things. And they made it like, this is just how you got, if you want to be a badass, you have to do these things.
Hmm.
These are the things that badasses do. And they just kind of created that brand behind like, if you want to be cool and do crazy stunts and like be part of this culture, you need to buy our
You have to
drink.
drink Monster. It's the only way.
You have to drink Monster. And then there's crazy people getting Monster tattoos and they have all like the Monster like energy like girls that like stand next to you when you get your like first place. Like it's just
Dude, I think branding is
the amount of
cool.
things that yeah, I that's my favorite part is
Mhm.
branding. Is it's just so fun to think about because you like get in the weeds of it and you're like that is so true and like super subconscious.
Yeah, so much of it is subconscious. So much of life is subconscious. I recently read a
Mm-hmm.
book. It was something, The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. And
Oh yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
all this shit that people talk about, God, religion, Christianity, the universe, the law of attraction, it's all just your subconscious mind. And I truly
uh-huh.
110% believe that it's just different things that you want to program into your subconscious mind to have that belief system that you project to the outward world. And it's fucking crazy because whatever you want in your subconscious mind is what you're going to get. And there's a lot of things
Yeah.
that you can do to program it. And at the same time, which I've unfortunately done, is you program your subconscious mind for the negative shit. Because if you constantly wake up and you have self
Mm.
doubt and you have this anxiety and frustration and this weird like scarcity mindset, you are going to manifest that in your physical reality, which is so hard because
Well, you find what you look for, I think.
exactly.
So yeah, if you go into your day like, oh, I'm so anxious, I'm so stressed about this, like you're gonna be.
Yeah.
Like you it's not even the manifestation. Like manifesting is one word for it. I don't really like that
Yeah, me
word
neither.
because
Because that's so much fucking
it's not because it sounds like something's happening to like being done to you. Like, oh, I'm manifesting it. But more so, I'm programming myself to like attract these things.
you're programming
Because it's like
yourself to
a
take the action in order to have that thing, which
yeah,
people just kind of like that word action because it's easier than that fucking wishy-washy manifest shit. But realistically, you
yeah,
are manifesting an action in some way, shape, or form, whether it's an intention or
right.
not.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of just putting yourself in the right place. So, like for instance, my sister, she's a singer songwriter out in Nashville. Go listen to her stuff. Her name's Tiffany Johnson. But she has so much of this like hard time with that self-doubt kind of stuff because she's in this space where she's like, oh, I'm not as good as this person, this like I've been doing this long and somebody just blew up and I didn't kind of thing, right? And I think for her and for everybody in general, it's like you have to put yourself in the place to have the chance thing happen to you. Like if you're not in the right place at the right time, it won't happen to you. You just have to like be there long enough and the right thing will happen. So it's a lot of like you have to put yourself in that position, in that mindset of like that success. And you never know. Maybe you'll do a show with 10 people, or that video will get five, like 50 views, right? But the right person saw it, and that's where like you get a DM, or somebody comes up and gives you like your record deal, right?
Hmm.
So it's all about putting yourself in this right spot to get that chance, weird, God moment type thing to happen.
It's beautiful.
But if you're not in the right spot, then it will never happen.
Yeah, 100%. I love that. Yeah, there's so much to it, but I think like I've read so many books about like whatever law of attraction, all that shit, and like listened to so many mentors and people talk about it. But my understanding that I can fully grasp is having enough
Yeah.
belief in the law of attraction and having enough faith and turning that faith and desire. Think about it. You're so confident. You have so much faith in this thing that you want to manifest and desire that inevitably you will create some sort of plan and follow that plan every single day with enough persistence that it will manifest. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's
Yep.
where those actionable steps come into play. Because if you're
Yeah.
so keen on manifesting something, you're going to create a plan of actionable steps to do it. And people try to like skip out on that step of actionable steps, which I fucking hate that shit because that creates like, so much stigma around the whole idea of like law of attraction, where it's like,
Yep.
no, you got to fucking work for it. You got to create a plan. Like, boom, that's it.
But if you are like absolutely committed to doing it, then like the work won't be that hard. Like it won't really be work. You'll just be excited about it the whole
Yeah.
time. And I think that lots of people just in general put a lot of stress on things they can't control. Like you put a lot of pressure on yourself for these things that are out of your control, and you don't put enough pressure on yourself for the things you can
Right.
control.
That's beautiful.
If that makes
Well,
sense. I've seen that a
yeah,
lot.
that's awesome. Yeah, and I'm
So,
saying all this shit. I don't know anything. I'm just kind of regurgitating information that I've learned and that I've been able to apply with some success in my life. Like I'm only 19 years old. Next year I could be fucking anywhere. I could have a completely different mindset, completely shifted thoughts. Who knows? But
well, I can tell you that it's not about
yeah,
age. Yes, you have time. That's what you do have. Um, but don't discount yourself for your age ever. Don't be like, well, I'm only. It's a good thing to stay humble, right? But it's also like you have done more in the time that you've had than like a lot of people who have like been around a lot longer, right? So it's you've had the right mindset. You have like the portfolio is way more important. The social media and all that kind of stuff. Like that's what people are going to look at. That's almost like I hate to say it this way, but like it's almost like a social credit score in a
mm,
way. But it does show your commitment to that thing, which I mean is honestly a lot of the same things that the college is for. Is oh, I can bust my ass for 4 years and get this piece of paper. It's not really. I mean, the education's one thing, but it's like showing that you can show up every day.
yeah,
Um,
that's a good point. I like.
and you've shown that in a different way.
Mm.
So don't discount
I guess
yourself,
I just
man.
constantly, I don't constantly, but I would discount myself in some ways just because it isn't all easy. Like I've been through so much personal struggle and so many things going on in the external life,
Yeah,
family
right.
shit that people wouldn't even imagine that happened.
Yeah,
And that's just reality. But it's kind of I don't know. It's weird. And that's kind of like it
that
is
makes
one of
sense.
those program things where I do have this scarcity mindset always. And I've just been working so hard to
Right.
try to detach from that scarcity mindset.
Well, you've done a great job at making connections, man.
Mm,
Like, been very impressed in like all the different people that you've been able to connect with and like make videos with and just get involved in different industries and with different sponsors and just people in the community. So,
cool.
good job on that. Are you still working on Mad Gear stuff or what's the status with that?
Yeah, I still ride for them. I was doing a lot of their social media stuff, but uh, office bureaucracy, I guess I would say. It just didn't work out. I'm just
Right.
not getting paid anymore to do their
Right.
stuff. That's it.
Just
A,
the
a
just
disagreement
riding
in
for them
pay.
instead.
That's all.
Oh
Right.
yeah. That's yeah, I mean that's
Yeah.
valid. That's what it comes down to. I saw that Allie left. Did you know anything about that?
Yeah. I mean, that's when I left too.
Oh
Yeah.
really? Okay.
Uh,
Interesting.
I don't know. They're cool. I mean, they help me out in a lot of different ways, and they send me products, so I fuck with them. They're cool.
Right. Yeah, I mean it's been perfect for what I've needed and what I've wanted for a sponsor. So
Exactly.
they've been nothing but great for me, but if I was honestly trying to be like a competing pro, then it'd be a different thing, right?
Yeah.
So
They,
it's kind
they,
of
they
just like
do
what
do that. They do
the
help out a lot of their professional riders, like getting the comps and stuff like that. So they're
no, and I mean, they obviously have done really, really good things for Jordan and
just
Juzzy
most definitely.
and Roman.
Yeah.
Like those guys are on, I'm sure, a great contract.
Yeah.
So that's good for them. Um, but yeah, it's hard to, like we said, it's hard to make money
Yeah.
scootering.
That's why I want to
But
help other people fucking be able to differentiate themselves. But one thing that I thought of before that I want to talk about before I forget,
yeah.
I went to the woods for 7 days in complete isolation. It was
Oh
very
right.
silly. I went in like upstate New York, like 4 hours, no service, no people, literally nothing but like camping and trying to survive. And I had my phone on me
What did you
because I was
bring?
recording. I brought a tent, a sleeping bag, a cot. It was a one person tent, so it was about this big.
Right.
Just camping gear, and I had my car. Thankfully, for some of it, I ended up going backpacking. But yeah,
Right.
no technology other than my phone for the camera. And the only
Uh-huh.
thing, it got to a point where I was just so overwhelmed and so upset with my life. The only thing I had downloaded on Spotify was our podcast that we did in like 2021 or 2022,
Yeah,
and the
really.
Dark Side of the Moon album by Pink Floyd. So I probably listened to
Yeah.
our podcast like 8 times.
That's awesome.
It was
Well, I'm glad it could be a light for you in this adventure.
it was it was rough, but I'm glad I did it.
Yeah, I mean, you should just come up here. We'll go backpacking up in the Bighorns,
True.
up in Wyoming.
Yeah, I'd be so down.
That's such a spot. Yeah. Yeah, no, I keep seeing clips of you making it like to Wisconsin and stuff. I'm like, where's Ryan at?
Yeah, I was only there once. I just kind of recycle the content.
Yeah, right. That makes sense. But
Yeah,
yeah, you did that cross country like road trip and stuff too,
correct.
didn't
Yeah,
you?
so I did it twice. I did it first time with a couple homies. It was beautiful. We visited basically the southern side of the United States, all the way down to Houston, Texas. Visited Rockstar Energy Skate Park. Got a hat from them. Got a hat
Yeah,
from
that's
Rockstar
right,
Energy.
because that's kind of what it was for, was for that series,
Right,
right?
essentially. And that's when I moved to Arizona for 6 months, and then did another trip up north. And then, yeah, it was dope. It was so dope. It was amazing.
What states haven't you been to yet?
There's a few. Basically, each corner. I haven't been to Florida, California. I lived 4 hours from California, but I just never ended up going. So I haven't been to
Because you were in like Arizona,
right.
right?
I haven't been to Florida, California, Washington, Oregon. I don't think I've been to Nevada and a couple other states here and there. But
Well, there's plenty of homies over in California if you ever want to make it
I
over there.
know, dude. Yeah,
So
me and do you know Ian McDonald?
yeah,
He's been at super good.
yeah, no, Ian. I haven't met Ian in person, but man, do I love how he rides.
Yeah, and you'd probably hear it from uh, several other people than Scooter. He is just one of like the
Yeah.
nicest dudes ever, and he's helped me so much with a lot of personal issues and just having like
Oh,
a
that's
good
good.
friend to talk to every Tuesday. But
Yep.
hopefully by the end of this year, 2024, I'll be moving out west in California with Ian McDonald and a couple of those scooter people.
Really? That's exciting.
Yeah,
Where at? Are you gonna be in LA then?
hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about that for a while because Sam Weens wants me to come out and hang out with him. He wants me to move out there. He's like, "Yeah, I'll get a new apartment with you and all this stuff if you get out there." And I've been trying to figure out how to do that.
Where is he right now?
So he's in Burbank,
Where's that? California?
California. Yep, that's like kind of up by Hollywood. It's like where all the production studios are for like the Hollywood
Yeah, I'm
stuff.
telling you right
Because
now,
he's
dude, your external environment is going to impact a lot of your developmental success. And even just me being out in
oh yeah,
Arizona and being able to travel and see different parts of the country and see different people, those experiences formulate yourself in a way that's
hmm
comprehensible. And you know this, you've traveled, you've done a bunch of shit. So it's like
yeah.
it's the coolest fucking thing to be able to travel and just create and curate this person based off your experiences.
Well, the biggest thing that I talk about to people is yes, experiences are important.
Hmm.
Absolutely, I'm totally on that boat. I don't care to buy things. I care to buy experiences and travel with my friends. But who you surround yourself with determines everything.
Dude.
So I make a big point to be like if you're a positive impact on my life, like and we're like close homies and I think that you're going to do great things and I want to like be there and be a part of it and I want some of the qualities that you have, like the world's a small place, man. Like I will show up. Like it's always kind of been that way. So I think that really finding the people that bring out the best in
Yeah.
you is really important, whether that be relationships or friendships or mentors or go name it. But try to get away from the people that are doing the opposite
It's so
because it
fucking,
only takes a couple.
it's the realest shit. It's the realest thing. You
And letting people go is hard.
right.
I don't think that's talked about all that
Mhm.
much. Like people talk about, yeah, put these good people in your life. Like, yeah, but it's also getting rid of the people who are negatively affecting your
And
life. And I
that's the
think
thing. A
that
lot of the time, they're not negatively affecting you. It's just they're not aligned with you and your goals and your intentions. And if you continue to do the same stagnant activities, you're going to remain
yeah,
stagnant. You're going to remain complacent, and it's tough, dude. It's so tough.
it is tough. And I've had a pretty lucky time that like none of it's been like nasty.
Hmm.
Um I think it can be like if people are like really clinging on to like their you're like kind of their last sense of hope in a way. But also it's like who they were a couple years ago might not be who they are
Right.
now. And you really have to like try to help them obviously if they're your homies like for a while. But like at a certain point you have to be like okay, we've tried this, it keeps going back and like I'm spending this time like we're just growing apart,
Yeah.
really. It's like I need to do this for myself and grow in this way and like I think that that's hard.
I heard from Conor McGregor talking about it, and also like a lot of other people in personal experiences. It gets to the point where you
Yeah.
should kind of isolate yourself in some ways, especially when you know that it's necessary. You'll
Yeah.
get certain sparks and inspirations and messages from fucking life that you are on the right path and you have momentum and you have an idea that is worth pursuing and just something in your life that is worth pursuing and putting more work towards. And there are going to be
Yeah.
certain times where you're going to have to do what 99% of other people are not willing to do in order to fulfill that spark, fulfill that inspiration, and
Yeah.
actually, like I said before, take action towards the thing that you want to accomplish. And it's,
It's yeah. Well, I'm really interested in the wood like your trip out to the woods. And so it's one of those things where it's like you just did it because it was hard, I assume.
yeah, I was super lost. I was super stagnant. Like I was talking about, I was stagnant with my content, with what I was doing with my life. And I just felt like I needed a dopamine detox also.
Yeah.
And So I went out there. I didn't drink. I didn't smoke. I didn't have any caffeine. I didn't have any nicotine. And that's not something that I
Yeah.
partake in every day. But I mean, just
Right.
the ability to completely not do anything. Like for me, the caffeine was the most difficult thing I've ever done is not have caffeine. Like, I mean, just today I probably had like
Yeah.
600 milligrams of caffeine. Like I'm a fucking tweaker, dude. So
Yeah.
I needed
I
that,
totally
like a
understand
little
that.
bit of a dopamine detox, and it helped me a lot. And
I
I reflected a lot on myself. I cried so much, and I
yeah.
mean, really, it's one of those things. It's like nobody else who is 19 years old is going to go out to the woods for 7 days and isolate themselves and put themselves through
Right.
suffering just to kind of come out on the other side and be grateful for the small things. And I'm glad I did it. I still don't really know why the fuck I did it, but so glad I
Right.
did it. But I guess
It's
I
like a
guess
religious
I
journey
guess you could
to an
say it was one
extent.
of those things where I just had like this weird spark to go and do that, and that's what I
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, no. I've done nothing that extravagant or crazy, but I did like I was working at this gym back in Laramie when I lived in Wyoming, and there was all these energy drinks across the counter from me every day, and like I just grab one, and that's like, and they were like the pre-workout ones, so they were like 200 milligrams of caffeine or more, and I'd have it like 6 o'clock at night, and that's after
Ooh,
like 2 cups of coffee and everything else.
yeah,
Um, so I just found myself like, you get tired because you're used to having that caffeine, which is a terrible place to be. So I just cut out all of it but water for like, I got one of these and I just put this next to me and I said, I'm only going to drink water for the next several months.
badass, dude.
Um,
Yeah,
and
I
so,
really need
because it's the same kind of thing. It's like, one, it's like these things are like $3 or $4 a piece. Like that adds up quick. If I just put that money in a savings account or something instead and like just grow
to.
a savings account instead of going to get energy drinks, all of a sudden I have like a couple grand at the end of the
Yeah,
year, right? So that's what I've kind of done with coffee is like I'll make coffee at work and I have like an Acorns. I don't know if you have the Acorns app on your phone, but I have it automatically putting in 50 bucks a week because that's what it would cost me to go get coffee. So I'm still spending the money, but I'm spending it on myself.
right. So
I've been really trying to do that more.
kind of adding to that, I'm a very, very anxious person, and I've just done my best like the past 4 years to try to develop myself into and just dealing with the anxiety essentially. And I think a large
Right.
part to do with it is the copious amounts of caffeine that I consume every single day. I think
Right.
I don't like to talk about it because it's something that I'm not doing right now, but eventually that's something I'll work
Right.
on for sure.
Well, I think, I mean, just acknowledging the fact that it's a problem is the first step anyway. So that's hard to do anyway. But yeah, it definitely doesn't help.
Right.
Um, um, yeah, I found myself being, I'm not an anxious person typically, but I'd find myself getting anxious if I was drinking too much or if I was drinking too much caffeine or, any, any number of things.
Right.
Um, but yeah, man, you just gotta keep working towards bettering yourself, I think is really the end goal.
Yeah. It's
And that's where
interesting
it feels
because
good. It's like,
I'm gonna quickly say this before I forget. You see so many people, like even I love reading autobiographies of like Tony Hawk, for example. Like he
uh-huh,
wasn't into self-improvement. He didn't have a good diet. Him growing up, he would just eat milkshakes and McDonald's and sugary cereal and donuts. And like theoretically, he was destined for failure, both athletically, physically, mentally, I mean, academically, everything. But there was something that pushed him, whether it was that internal belief, that persistence, that desire, that he was able to be
right.
successful. So I guess to summarize all this bullshit about self-improvement and law of attraction, all that stuff,
Yeah.
70% isn't what you do, it's just how you feel about it. And I think that's so important to keep in mind as you do all this stuff. You go for a run, you do 75 hard, you go monk mode, you do all this shit. Like as long as you're feeling good and you're doing the right things most of the time, I think you're going to be successful and happy. I think that's also
Yeah.
90% of it is, are you happy with what you're doing and how you're feeling? I mean, really, that's it.
Yeah, I definitely, if I'm doing all ticking all those boxes and I'm going to the gym and
Hmm.
I'm eating healthier and all these things, like, you just feel like you're doing yourself a
Hmm.
favor. And that's where the power
Okay.
comes in. Is it's like, obviously, like, yeah, it's good for your body to do those things, but also, like, it's so much more mental. I think it's still, even to this day, more like mental's more important than we give it credit, like, just in
Yeah.
general. Because, like, just so much of everything is just like, what is your mindset on
Hmm.
that thing?
So
And if you're like, go for it.
going back to social media growth, I like tripled my account to like
Yes.
180 something thousand followers. About
Which is freaking nuts.
Thank
Congratulations.
you. About the same time that I started to post copious amounts, like 2 to 3 times a day on just Instagram, 2 times on TikTok, 3 times on YouTube, whatever. I started the 75 hard challenge. Have you heard of that?
Yes, I
Yeah,
have. Yep.
so that's exactly when I started. So I believe in the law of accumulation in the sense of I would wake up every single day, I would drink a gallon of water, I would do two 45-minute workouts, I would push myself, I would read 10 pages of a self-help book, I would eat healthy, I
Hmm.
didn't have any alcohol, any drugs. And
Right.
alongside doing all of those positive things, I had that discipline to show up for myself, which ultimately made me feel good. It made me stay
Yep.
consistent to posting habits. I haven't missed a single post for probably like 4 or 5 months now. And
Yeah, that's crazy too.
I think that resulted in a lot of the growth. It's just doing the right things
Yeah.
most of the time. And that's it. And I don't think
It's getting
it's
on
that
that
hard.
schedule to do it. Because I think after you build the habit and after you've done it long enough to build the habit, it becomes less hard because you expect it to happen and you expect yourself to do it.
Right.
Whereas the first little bit is hard. And then but when you get sick or something comes up and you like have an excuse to actually not do it, then it's so hard to get back on.
Yeah. Just gotta keep going.
I've seen that too. You got to just like grind through that next little bit to get back into it again, which is where I'm at with the gym because I was, you know, sick for the last like 2 weeks basically. I'm still like coughing and I don't know what I had. I went to the doctor and they're like, "Yeah, well, it doesn't look like you have, the flu or COVID or strep. So like, take some leave."
Valid.
And you're like, "Shit, all
Like
right."
shit, I guess I'm a pussy.
I wanted you to tell me that like I needed this like antibiotic, but that works too, I guess.
Yeah, another thing
But
with like the gym and fitness and shit is just like start small. Like I've seen so
oh
much
yeah.
results with just doing like 100 push-ups a day. Like
Mhm. That's what I did for the longest time
yeah, if
too.
I'm consistent with that for 2 months, that's so much better than doing 75 hard and then giving up after day 13 and then not doing it for 60 days. You know what I mean?
Well, when I started with like push-ups, because I started kind of like December, I think, maybe a little bit before
Hmm.
that, November or December, and I could do like 25, and then I'd have to do 10, like sets of 10 for the rest of the 100. And it took me forever. Like that took me so long, and then I kept building it up so then I could do it in like 5 sets, and then I could do it or 4 sets, and then I could do it in like 3 sets. So like bringing that
Oh,
down so I could do like 40, 35 to 40 push-ups per
right.
set for that 100. And then I'm like, oh, this has gotten scalably different,
Yeah.
like way easier to the point where now I'm like, I could probably, step it up to 150 to 200
Yeah.
push-ups, so it's like just being able to like, you see that growth. And the thing about working out is it's not quick.
No.
You don't see results right away, but after a couple months, you're like, oh, okay, there it is.
That's why I think using physical fitness and working out as a model for other life expenditures, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Exactly what you just described is you kind of got to start small, do something that you know you can hold yourself accountable for, and then work your way
Hmm.
up and be able to be consistent. And that's fucking life, dude. That's everything.
That is the message of this podcast for sure.
Beautiful.
But
Is this
all
what
right,
you
well,
usually talk
thank you, Ryan.
Sorry, quickly.
Again,
Is this what you usually talk about on podcasts? On these podcasts?
it depends the person,
Right.
man. It totally depends the person. Um, for you, obviously, it was going to be more social
Right.
media based, and um, what we talked about last time and everything. Like you're so philosophical, and you have like lots of like theories and ways that you go about thinking things that are a little bit deeper than what most people think about. And so that's why I wanted to go there. And that's why we usually go that way. Cause I think we agree and we like obviously have the same kind of mindset on those. So
Cool.
I really like playing with those ideas with you, but it kind of depends. I mean, they kind of hold that trend because I like that kind of
Me
stuff.
too.
But with this season of Outlook specifically, I'm really trying to push it, like you said, outside of that niche box. So I've been so much in the scooter space, but I'm interested in all these other
Mhm.
things. So I'm going to bring in guests for this season that are hopefully more like Wednesday, for example. I have a guy coming in who he is like worked on the Grammys. He has worked on like all sorts of stuff in the entertainment space, and he's had like lots of experience with celebrities and
Mhm.
stuff like that. So that is a completely different echelon of, or it's a different like thing, right? So I'm excited to have him on and
Yes,
talk about that because it's just going to be, different. It's just going to be something fresh, and I think a lot of people in our industry is still interested in that kind of stuff, or there will be.
most definitely. You have a
um
lot of fantastic listening skills, really good questions, and really good control over the general flow of the conversation. And I think obviously you've been doing this for a minute, so I'm fucking rooting for you.
well, it's
It's gonna
interesting.
be awesome.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, well, it's kind of interesting. I've been on and off. Like, I haven't posted on this for like a year. Like, I just recorded one of these with Sam 2.5, 3 weeks ago that I'm going to post first before I post like yours and then this other guy's. Um, but Travis Randall is his name.
Hmm.
Just so you guys know, so you're ready for the next video. But I have not been consistent, and I've been kind of like trying to find my place in this job and after college and stuff. So that's kind of my shitty excuse for. I mean, there's no excuses, but that's my shitty excuse.
Well, you're
Um,
back.
but yeah, I'm excited to jump back in. These have like helped me so much and just given me so many great
Yeah,
connections and great conversations. And just, I feel like it brings out deeper conversations that you don't get to have in a short form content or a YouTube video
yeah.
because it is the hour and 15 minutes, right?
No, I love this shit. It's
So
awesome.
I think that it just is a lot deeper and I like going there. So
Yeah, I gotta go. The
yeah.
library's gonna close soon.
Oh, bet. Yeah, I know. I was about to interrupt anyway. So thank you so much. Yeah. Again, Ryan, where can we follow you?
Let's see. At Orell Ryan on Instagram. At Ryan Orell on Instagram too. I have two accounts. A couple that got hacked. A couple that got deleted. But yeah, at
Yeah.
Orell Ryan Instagram. At Ryan Orell TikTok and YouTube.
Perfect. Yeah. Well, everybody check him out. I mean, if you don't already know Ryan's stuff. So, all right. Thank you so
Well,
much
dude, I
and
appreciate it.
have a great rest of your day.